With National Signing Day coming up and the spirit of recruiting heavy in the air, one of the most intriguing recruiting storylines I've seen in quite some time is playing out right before us, and it has to do with a leaked video call between a recruit and Nick Saban. Also, y'all, we have got to talk about the newest crystal ball rankings that have the Crimson Tide favored to land 5-star safety Terrion Arnold. So before we get into all that, I have 2 questions that I want to hear from all of you about. First, what do you think about this leaked video situation from Nick Saban? Because it's not something we've seen before like this. And secondly, Tide fans, what do you think about Terrion Arnold? Do you believe that the Crimson Tide are going to land him come Wednesday? Give me a Y for yes and an N for no. And y'all, if you're already here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're on our push to 2,000 subscribers, and with the NFL draft and with the National Signing Day coming up, I'm going to be pumping out a ton of content covering all the latest news from not only the draft and signing day, but also player profile reviews. You name it, we're going to be covering it, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'd love to have you along for the journey. Go ahead and like the video and drop a comment down below letting me know what you think about this leaked video, and also who you're looking forward to seeing commit on National Signing Day, and we might just check them out. But with all that being said, we have got a lot to get into, so let's just jump straight into it. And no surprise, the University of Alabama and Nick Saban have been unstoppable, right? This is a man who has had to adapt to the times because he didn't even utilize email or text messages like that. And when COVID came, it completely disrupted the system that he had held so dear and flipped it on its head. We've talked about before that Alabama had the 55th ranked recruiting class back in April, and now they're running away with number 1. It really does show how all-powerful Nick Saban is in the sense of his adaptability. You know, this is a man who doesn't utilize email. COVID happens, he has to completely change, and he is just out here flourishing. Meanwhile, I go out in the backyard this weekend while it's super windy here in North Texas, and as you can see, my allergies are unrelenting right now. Shows there's a difference. But this leaked Zoom call is incredibly intriguing for a few reasons, and I want to hit on them very quickly. The first thing that was so intriguing is when he talked to this recruit about the aspects of negative recruiting, and this is something I've seen firsthand from my friends that have been recruited to D1 institutions. You'll hear, and it specifically happens with Alabama a lot, you'll hear recruits told, you won't play at the University of Alabama because they're too loaded there. Instead, you can come play early from us. You might have to wait a few years there. Here you can come play day 1. Nick Saban hit the nail on the head because I don't think many people really dissect what that claim means. If you're an institution whose head coach is using, or recruiters are using that recruiting pitch, I have bad news as to what that means for you, and I don't even think they realize what they're saying, because they're saying 2 things. First, it's insulting to the recruit. They're telling the recruit, you're not good enough to go cut it at Alabama. And second off, they're insulting their own roster. They're saying, we're not as good as Alabama, therefore you don't have to worry about it. While Alabama is great, they have all those great players, we don't have that, so you don't have to worry about anything over here. It's a double juxtaposition you've put yourself in, because now you've said the recruit's not good enough to cut it, and Alabama is so much better than us that why would you look at them? We're not good, come play for us. Which, if this year is any indication, true freshmen play at the University of Alabama, right? The sack leader in the SEC is a true freshman. The kid with the most quarterback hurries in the nation is a true freshman. And one of the highest graded cornerbacks in the SEC per Pro Football Focus College is a true freshman. Not to mention that when that true freshman got hurt and couldn't play in either of the national championship games, I don't think we talk about that one of Alabama's best defenders didn't play against Ohio State. And guess what? They put another true freshman out there who balled, Brian Branch, whose ability is otherworldly. So that was the first thing that was really intriguing to me, was the negative aspect in the recruiting against this. The second thing that Saban said that is super intriguing, and after this we're going to go into the Terrion Arnold news, but the last thing on this recruiting video that I think Saban hit the nail on the head again, and I don't know how you argue with these 2 points he made. First off, he said that they have 64 guys that were playing in the NFL last year. The next closest is 44. That right there, win, sold, right? There's nothing else you can say to that. He's just checkmate every other recruiter in college football because nobody can say anything to that. Nobody can say anything to Bama on that. He can also say that since 2009, he has 33 plus first rounders. How many other people can say that? The other thing he said, before we jump into Terrion Arnold, that was so true is that At Bama, Marlon Humphrey guarded Amari Cooper every day. Jonathan Allen went against Cam Robinson every day. And that made those guys exponentially better because they were used to going against someone in practice that may have been better than the guy they were going up against in the game. And that kind of production, that kind of practice is just incredible, right? Iron sharpens iron. But now let's go into the Terrion Arnold news, because Terrion Arnold has been crystal ball to the University of Alabama. The 6', 180-pound safety just got his 5-star rating per 24/7 Sports, and he absolutely deserves it. He's comped to Xavier McKinney, and I think that this would be a massive grab for the University of Alabama. The University of Alabama thought they were in good position for Sage Ryan, and he ended up going to LSU. And look, if they miss out on Sage Ryan and are able to get a Terrion Arnold, I think that that is a massive win, because they're both incredibly skilled players, and any institution would be happy with either of them, is what I'm trying to say. And I think that this would be a super solid way to end the class, and it would all but guarantee the #1 recruiting class in the nation to the University of Alabama. Y'all, let me know what you think down below, not only about the recruiting video leak, but also about the Terrion Arnold news. I cannot wait for National Signing Day. This is one of the commitments I've been waiting for a long time, and I can't wait to see where he goes, because he is an uber talented young man, and I think that he would be a great fit for the Crimson Tide. And that's about it for this video, but y'all stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe, because after this video I'm uploading about the state of the Big Ten and also the newest transfer news about Eric Gilbert to Florida. That's it. See ya.